do at this time is introduce you all to Paulo Tarazona, who will be sharing a bit of a spotlight with us today on his efforts at FENACREP in Peru. And FENACREP is the National Association of Credit Unions of Peru. Paulo is a senior technical assistance consultant there, and he's going to share with us some background about how FENACREP is working to promote digital and financial education, and talk a bit about how credit unions have supported young people during this time of the pandemic.
Okay, thank you, Thomas, first of all, and thank you twice for putting that picture of mine in your presentation. I used to have more hair back then, so it's nice to it's nice to see myself with more hair. So it's good. Thank you. Thank you very much, Thomas, for the invitation. Thank you, WYCUP, and good morning, good afternoon with everyone. My name is Paulo. I apologize if my English is not good enough. I will try to do the best I can. And if you don't understand something, please just let me know. If you give me a second to have more space in my screen. All right. I will talk with you, or I will try to, in the next minutes, talk about the Peruvian credit union movement, and specifically about education, digital tools, and and our commitment, not only from FENACREP, but from the Peruvian credit unions. Some Peruvian credit unions I'm going to talk to you about and beyond, and what are our expectations, how we are preparing for this digital era of the education as we see it. And let me share with you a couple of some information. The program for today, my sound is good. Please let me know, Thomas. Okay, thank you.
Yep, you're good.
Thank you. The program for today is I'm going to talk about two main topics. A glimpse of the efforts that Peruvian credit unions are doing for their members, and I'm going to talk specifically about three credit unions: Abaco, which is located in Lima, which is the main city, the capital of my country; San Martin de Porres, which is located in the jungle area. Peru is a rather big country, and we have a coast just next to the Pacific Ocean. We have the jungle next to Amazonas River, and we have the highlands where all the peaks are. And Santa Maria Magdalena is a credit union that is specifically from the highlands, from this area. And also, I'm going to talk about specific FENACREP efforts to improve the knowledge of board members, workers, and members in financial and cooperative education through digital tools. We will talk about it in a few minutes. But talk first about Abaco. Abaco, which is the biggest credit union in my country, is located, as I told you, in Lima, and they have this plan, these programs. They have very clear that they have to work with kids in order to have better members and better citizens for our country. How are they working this out? First, they have a program called ABA Kids, from kids from 0 to 11 years old. Then they have ABA Teens, 12 to 17. And then they move to Abaco Banca Joven from 18 to 25 years old to become a member of the credit union. What they do in ABA Kids, ABA Teens, and Abaco, it's interesting because with kids, they work a lot with financial education, with social responsibility, social environment, and the taking care of the environment, and Banca Joven. But the interesting, Banca Joven for people from 18 to 25 years old. And the interesting thing is that they work with kids, talking about financial education, how to open your first account, giving them material to play with. Now, in the pandemic, they organize virtual meetings. My son has been in many of those activities, and it's really awesome. It's really great to see how the kids relate to concepts like money, savings, taking care, making their own little budget for their things, but they are becoming aware of the importance of money and taking care of it, which is really great for their education, because in schools they don't talk about that much about this topic about financial education, but credit unions can, and Abaco is a really good example at it. And what they are achieving, things like this. Abaco has 700 kids and 400 teenagers in Aba Kids and Aba Teens each program. And the next step on the ladder was Banca Joven. Do you remember? And Banca Joven has 250 members between 18 and 25 years old. And 60% of those members come from Aba Kids or Aba Teens, which means that the credit union is succeeding in train, so to speak, in giving them financial education to these members. And these members of Banca Joven between 18 and 25 years old who want to buy their first car or want to complete their education are really aware of the tools that a credit union has for them, which is really great. And not only because they are going to become better member or a good member of the credit union, but most important is that they are going to become better citizens for our country, because they are going to be financially educated already by the time they are 18. And because of the pandemic, of course, the credit union reshaped their educational material, which now is like comic books, from physical to digital. So now the members can download all these comics and stories from their webpage and social media. So they are kind of adapting to the new circumstances. Other example I want to share with you is the San Martin de Porres credit union, located in San Martin, which is, as I told you, the jungle part of my country. And they have many programs, but I wanted to spotlight a couple of them. Copa-Educa, which is the work they do with kids at elementary school. They talk about a lot about philosophy, about credit union philosophy, financial education. They work with kids in schools, not talking about how great the credit union is, because that could be marketing, but talking about the importance of a budget, of their savings, of credits, of how to manage money. And they have another program called Soy Emprendedor, which could be translated as I'm an entrepreneurship or something like that, which is based not only on members but on the community. Why? Because in the city in San Martin, there is a military base of the Peruvian army. So these soldiers have to spend a year or two there on that base. And they have nothing to do with the credit union or the community whatsoever. But the credit union talk with these soldiers, with, of course, with their officials, and say, hey, if your people is going to be here for a year or two, maybe I can teach them or I can train them so they can leave this space with something to do. I can teach them how to some crafts, some skills, so they can do something for a living after their service on the military. They can become a barman. They can become people who work with electricity, with woods, and things like that. And that's part of the service that the credit union can do with their community. So the credit union become an actor of the society, not only an actor for the member, but for the community. They can become a reference in the community. And that is really, really interesting, really interesting. And another experience is Santa Maria Magdalena, which is located in Ayacucho, in the highlands. And they talk, and they work with kids and teenagers, also giving them football lessons, singing. Football lessons are really interesting. We need a couple of good footballers here. Singing, leadership, karate, cooperativism, cultural aspects of their education. Not only this is money, this is savings, but giving them a bigger kind of skills or things to talk about. They do also activities like cleaning of the streets, so they can fight visual pollution. And they give school bags for every member below 18 years, and they explain the benefits of being a member to the new member, which is really interesting. And it's in line with what Thomas was saying. In Australia, people is no longer using the name credit union, and they are using instead the name or the term bank, which is really something that shocks. It's really, I'm really concerned about it, because you are kind of losing your identity. And if you lose your identity, you are done. You are the credit union is done. It's just a part of the construction where money comes and goes, and there is no difference with a bank, and that's really a shame. And we have a lot of tools to tell our members or new members, hey, this is a credit union, and you're not a client, you are not a number, you are a member. You own this building, you own this credit union. It's yours, but it's also your responsibility to be prepared for your responsibilities in the credit union. And these kind of meetings are really important. And I also, so I don't want to exceed my minutes. I wanted to talk about this specialization program for board members, which could be a rough translation of our PET program, which is the Programa de Especialización para Directivos y Delegados, which is the next thing. It's something that FENACREP is doing. We used to have physical or face-to-face training with credit unions, as we all did. But now, because of the pandemics, we have to reinvent our methodology, and we came up with this PET program, which has been 3 years in the making, has 11 courses, 2 specialties. The target of this program is everyone in the credit union, and is of course in a virtual environment. given on a platform and on an educational platform exclusively designed for credit union and built for FENACREP itself. And what is this PED? What are these courses, these subjects we talk about with credit unions or with board members? We have two specializations: cooperativism and management fundamentals, which is like the things like everyone in the credit union should know about with me. How a credit union works, credit union challenges, new regulation, cooperativism, being a member, credit union as financial entities, and so on. And we have a second specialization, which could be translated as credit union direction. And we talk specifically to board members, and we teach them, or we talk about being a board member, tools for financial analysis, strategic management, risk management, and organizational culture. So they don't have to become experts on risks or strategic management, but we make sure that they know at least the things that they have to know about those topics in their role as a board member, which is really important, because in a credit union, at least in my country, the board members changes every year. Every year, 1/3 of the board members change because of our regulation. So we have a lot of new people each year. And these new people have to be aware and well trained about their future responsibilities in the credit union. Because, and that's one of the reasons why we think that these kind of programs, virtual programs, are important, because as a virtual thing, we can reach more people through technology, through digital tools. And we use multimedia resources, interactive lessons on our digital platform. We have papers. We give the participants papers and material they can download, animated videos, infography, reinforcement games, trivia, because we firmly believe that the participants shouldn't think that they are being evaluated. We don't like that. We think that they have to reinforce what they're learning. We don't make them feel that they are at school and taking a test. No, we replace a test with trivia, with games, with something more ludic, more fun, because education has to be fun. We believe that. And live workshops to complement that training. And these are some of the material that we designed. Papers with more information. Of course, on a digital environment, you can only give a certain amount of text, of information, but you can give them more information in paper, so they can dig deeper with certain topics. And these are some of the infographics and animated videos that we also did. It's the first and only program in my country that has the credit union as target. So we talk about credit unions. We talk specifically about them. So it's customer design, so to speak. How it works? It works through the educational committee in the credit union. These are our allies in the implementation of this program with every credit union. And we have facilitators, and they have a key role, because the facilitators are members of the credit union staff, not FENACREP staff, but the credit union staff. So the participants, if they have some doubt how to enter the platform, how to log in, how to download something, they don't reach FENACREP. They reach a person that they are already familiar with, part of the staff of the credit union, so they can feel more comfortable. Because we know that a lot of the people that works with this pet program are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and they are not very familiar with digital tools, so they can be as comfortable as they can be. And our methodology is blended. We encourage a lot of participation and with these multimedia resources. And finally, some numbers to share. In 8 months that this program has been active, we have 15 credit unions as users, 15 in 8 months. We have given 129 workshops for these people, and we have 496 participants, which can be workers, members, or board members, and their feedback has been really interesting to say the least. And we like to think that they like it. We like to think that. And these are some of the pictures. Of course, they are all Zoom meetings, unfortunately, because we can't wait to go back and hug them and look at their faces as we are doing this. But we will sooner or later. And some lessons that we wanted to share with you, and perhaps these are common knowledge now, but they are very true for us. Virtual education is here to stay. After the pandemic, we will still be using these digital tools. We are not going to back as things were in 2019. Digital education, virtual education is here to stay, and we have to be prepared for that, because not only virtual education, but some operations of the contact of the credit unions with their members have changed with the pandemic, and that kind of procedures will have to change also. We have to change. We have to use these digital tools in benefit of the credit union and the members. And we have to work with members from young age. It has proven to be effective in giving the credit union not only loyal future members identified with the institution, but good citizens, as I told you before. And we firmly believe that technology democratizes access to education. We firmly believe that, and we are keep learning each day new things. The participants of our programs and our credit unions are also teaching us lessons in how to improve our services, and not only from FENACREP, but our credit unions also. Our credit unions, we are proud of that. It's a road we are in now, and hopefully things will have good results in the near future. And that's about it. That's about all the things that I wanted to share with you. And thanks a lot. That's my name and my email, just in case I would like to be. I would like to be your friend. And we are all part of this credit union movement. And I'm very grateful for the chance of being here. And thanks a lot.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Paulo, for this great presentation and some great insights into what's going on and what credit unions in Peru are doing to expand education and to develop a greater sense of community. I also want to thank you specifically for joining us today on your vacation. I know that you are taking a break from work this week and took some time out just to be with us here today. So thank you for making time for WYCUP. You mentioned a number of great things, from the work that Abaco is doing to create better citizens through financial education and to help prepare the youth for their future, I think is such an important role for credit unions. And then looking at the work of the credit union in Santa Maria and building that culture of entrepreneurship that is directly expanding job opportunities and creating a sense of community in the process of doing that. And your approach to this in a way that that education has to be fun and enjoyable, I think is really a key point for us in this. I found it very interesting that in Peru, 1/3 of your board members change out each year. And I can imagine that represents some interesting opportunities for your credit union with the new ideas and new information that comes into to the governance of the organization. But at the same time, it entails a lot of work and education and training. And so it's great to see how these digital tools that FENACREP has created combine both financial and cooperative education, because it's really that mix that is so powerful for our organization. So I agree totally that virtual education is here to stay. It's a good thing. It's been a great thing for us at WYCUP, and it absolutely is democratizing access to education and giving more people opportunities to learn. So thank you so much for sharing with us today. Are there any questions from the group, either in the chat or if anybody wants to speak up? Questions for Paulo?
I have a quick question. Paulo, thanks again for sharing. That was really fascinating. I'm wondering, just kind of on what Thomas was talking about with the one-year terms or the turnover of the board, you mentioned that was by regulation. Is that something that there's a desire to change via regulation? Or I was just curious, like, if you have any thoughts about kind of where that's headed or how that came to be. Because like Thomas said, I think there's probably a lot of opportunity and challenge with that.
Yeah, Carmen, thank you. It has always been like that in our 60 years in Peru. It's always been like that. And I know that in other countries, the situation is different, but for us, it's an opportunity and a challenge at the same time, because it's an opportunity because more people can have the opportunity to represent or to work closely to the credit union. That way, they can have the chance to work for the credit union as a board member. But it's a challenge at the same time, because we have to train beforehand these people, because we have a risk of governance. And that's a thing here, because if we don't train in the good sense of the word, these people, you can have board members with different ideas of what the union should be like, and it could be a mess. And we have to develop tools or programs so we can train and work with these members that want to become board member before they apply for the new responsibility. So it's a good thing, and it's a challenge. And I would say that governance is the main issue with credit unions here. So that's why we have to work a lot with that, and that's why when I hear news like Thomas said, we are replacing credit union for bank. Yeah, but we are still a credit union, but we changed our name. That's like, oh my God, no, that's not the way. That's not the way. We are having this. It's a great risk to lose our identity, and we firmly believe that if we lose our identity as credit union, we are done